The first step is to put down a gray tape, which is silver tape. It's really good for keeping the glue from sticking to our table. You can make this weft any size you want. And then you can cut and customize it according to the size of the wefts you want to work with on the client's hair. So, this weft here is great to work with. The tape, I'm going to make a weft here that's about 30 centimeters long. If you already have a press at home, right? If you already have your press, you can make it according to the size of your press. In this video lesson, I'm going to teach you how to do it with our flat iron, but you can definitely use a press, okay? I'm going to make it here about 30 centimeters long. I know there are some presses that only go up to 25, 30 centimeters, 40 at most, but with the flat iron, the advantage is that you can even make a weft up to 1 meter long. That's why I like to use the flat iron, but it's really up to you. So, after we've applied our tape for marking, now we're going to take the 2 centimeters tape and place it like this, right here in the front. I'm going to secure the end. I'll hold it with my finger. I'm going to carefully cut it and then meticulously fold it, and now I will gently stretch it out, ensuring it is perfectly aligned. Now I will firmly fix it so it remains really tight and secure, right? It needs to be nice and perfectly straight, so make absolutely sure it's really thoroughly stretched out and taut. So I'll cut several little pieces here and do this. Look, I'll grab it and pull it so it stays stretched. It's really stretched out, see? Now let's move on to the other tape, the thicker masking tape, and let's leave a very short gap here. What's the distance today? Let's grab it here. Okay, if you look, you leave about 1 centimeter of space from the. For those of you just starting out, I recommend using a distance of 1 centimeter. Once you get more used to it, you can use 1/2 centimeter, which is what we need to fold this mesh. So it turns out really thin. So, let's start with 1 centimeter. As you get more agile and skilled, you can reduce that space. I'm going to do it here with 1 centimeter, so you take the ruler here where it is. The marking isn't at the start of the ruler, but at this mark here. Up to the number 1 centimeter, you can measure here, see 1 centimeter, and make a little mark, just so you have a reference. And on the other side, you can do the same thing, just so you have a reference. This reference here, if it ends up a bit rough, it's fine, because we're going to cut off this excess, since this mesh doesn't have any excess. But to reduce hair loss, it's really good to do this. So now let's do it with a thicker crepe tape, right? Let's carefully place it precisely on the designated mark and then proceed to make the cut. And let's wrap it around underneath here. And let's stretch it along the mark we made, 1 centimeter. That's the distance we'll be working with glue and stitching. Here, we'll do the same thing. Let's take 2 pieces. Let's stretch out this part here. And let's stretch it. Make sure it's nice and tight. The secret to the weft is right here. Don't be afraid to use the crepe tape. Just stretch it out and look. Now let's make our hair weft. If you have 100 grams of hair, it's a good idea to divide it into small sections to make the process easier. I'm going to take a section here, a bit of hair, and I'm going to carefully remove the rubber band. Guys, make sure you hold the ends of the hair, okay? Because if the ends are really thin, we'll need to clean up the hair, since this is a weft for American ends, and the weft needs to be as clean as possible. So, you hold it here, twist it between your fingers, and at this distance, that's where you clean it. If it's really dirty, or if the hair is only semi-clean, you can twist it and just trim off about 4 fingers worth. I'm just going to cut off about 4 fingers here. I took this part off, cleaned it up. Now, I'm going to grab my flat iron and straighten the hair. There are 2 advantages to straightening our hair. When we separate our smash, our weft stays really straight with no gaps. It looks perfect. Another tip is that the hair stays warm. So, when we apply the glue, it will dry faster. So we've already cleaned it, already straightened it. You take a bit of hair, place it. Stay here. Be careful with the fan if it's close by. You're going to straighten the hair, guys, and start from the top down, like this, look. Once you've placed it, now let's spread it out. Hold here and align the hair. I'm doing it really slowly so you can understand. The hair density has to be the same, okay? There's no point if there's a gap here, less hair here, and a lot over there. The weft won't look nice. It won't be even. Notice that in this part there's a gap and here there's a bit more hair. So just pull it over here to cover the gap. If there's too much hair, that's no good either, because then one part will be fuller and the other will be thinner, so it's best to always keep it even. This part here is crucial for your weft to turn out perfect. Once we've done that, now let's grab a bit more of our hair. Ideally, you should take as little hair as possible, because it makes it easier for us to divide. I'm going to heat it up again, right? I'm going to align it. I place it at a distance here. I start separating it this way, look. I start separating it to the other side. I hold the strand here, and I run the comb through slowly. To align the strand, I keep moving it over here, trying to make it really even. Notice this little uneven bit left here? That's easy. Just grab a bit more hair, a thinner amount after you. And as you practice this, you'll be able to do it incredibly fast. I'm doing it slowly so you can understand how the process works here. See? I already covered the gap and there's some hair left over, so I'm going to bring it over here. Grab the strand, bring it to this side. If you notice it's misaligned, just hold it here and align the hair. If there's any strand getting in the way, remove it. I can see that there's still some hair missing here, so I take a little more hair, just a tiny bit, really just a little 𝗍𝗃, just a small amount. Let's grab a bit of hair here and put it in the spot where there's a gap. There we go. It is now completely fixed, and at this point, you fully understand precisely how it works, so let us continue on with our important work. My tip for you is to take a fine-tooth comb, spread the hair out like a fan, hold it like this, and position it. Keep it at a comfortable distance, gently move it from one side to the other, and here you can precisely align it exactly as needed, giving it a little bit of a careful stretch, ensuring optimal placement. That way, we use the handle so that the hair sticks to our tape glue, see? Why do you have to do this, Jorge? Because when you remove the hair from the top, the ones underneath won't come off either. They'll stay attached to our tape, so it makes it easier for us to spread the hair out. With the back of the comb, see these strands? You remove them, okay? Take out all these strands. Now let's grab another section. Let's do the cleaning process, right? Let's carefully hold the hair. Let's thoroughly clean it. And then let's meticulously use the flat iron, our reliable hair straightener. This initial mirror piece here, you carefully remove it, and then you precisely reduce the exact amount of hair you desire to remove. Put it somewhere safe so it doesn't fall on the floor. Align the hair, then hold it firmly here and make the separation. Notice that here it's not aligned. Be very careful with this part. Like I said, run the comb through here so it sticks to our masking tape. And let's go. Let's add more hair. Hey, Jorge, do you need to go past this first tape? No, you can put it right up to the tape, okay? I put it here even though the hair isn't well aligned, but you can put it from the tape over here. The important thing is that it sticks to this tape and this tape here, and to reduce it, right? You don't have to cut much hair. You don't lose a lot of length. Well, so you'll adjust as you get more practice. One thing is, I'm working in a way that's uncomfortable so I can record this course and you can have a better view. It's harder for me to work the right way, but I want you to understand how it's done, okay? And here, it can go all the way to the end. Here, on our masking tape, I'm going to stick the back of the comb here. Because with the back of the comb, the bottom part sticks and the top part is easier to handle. It's easy to position it again exactly where I want. And now there's just a little more hair left, so I'll put it here, hold it firmly, and here I'll separate it. If there's too much hair, just do this, remove it, take the hair off. If it looks too rough, remove the hair, because the bottom part has already stuck. Just take it off here. Remove this part here, then you put the comb here to pull another section. Done. Now I'm going to cover up the gaps. Okay, do you see a little gap? Here I take a little bit of hair and go over the gaps, covering them up. Done. Here, a little gap appeared. I'm going to go over here, and now let's put the masking tape in the same direction, okay? And we put the one underneath. We're going to cut this here. Now, let's take the thinner tape and place it right on this tip here to secure it even more. Our tape, so that when we fold it, it doesn't come off. Glue it carefully. Look, we almost had a serious accident right here just now. There, please put it precisely on the very tip. And then, with careful precision, I am meticulously crafting the foundational base of the comb, ensuring its stability and proper form. And now, let us carefully take this adhesive tape, which is essential for our next step, and gently, yet firmly, place it directly on top of the comb's newly formed base, securing it in position as well. It's trying to come off my adjustment here, okay? I'm going to put it right on top. It'll end up just like it started. My handiwork. Done. Don't be afraid to use masking tape, okay? For this top part, you don't need to add another layer like we did here. You just need to do this. Look, reinforce this part right here. This is crucial so the tape doesn't come off. Now let's grab our G8 glue. If your adhesive, such as glue, is a bit thick in its consistency, you can easily remedy this situation. Simply take some isopropyl alcohol, acquire a suitable brush, and then carefully and slowly begin to mix it into the thick glue. Continue this gentle mixing process until the glue achieves a perfectly nice, smooth, and workable consistency. Okay, I'm using black G8 glue because the hair is black, but you can use whatever color you want. Mix it well with the alcohol. This isopropyl alcohol is good because it doesn't take away the glue's properties. It doesn't make the glue weak. See, look how the glue gets really smooth? Now I'm going to take it and use my spatula. I'm going to clean my brush in this area. Look guys, you don't need to do this part here. Don't pile on the glue, okay? It needs to be really thin. The important thing is that the glue goes all the way to the end. Don't apply the glue from here to there, because otherwise the glue will end up getting under the masking tape, and it won't be nice and straight. So start from here. Always go from this point here to that point there, and then gently press a bit so that the adhesive glue really gets deeply into the hair fibers. If you want, you can add glue. Before here, because we're going to spread it, the important thing is that you manage to get the glue in between the hairs. You don't need to use a lot of glue because we're going to apply 3 coats of glue. So, if you put it on too thick, the base of the weft will end up rough. This one here, look, press down here so it really soaks in. Now, guys, let it sit here for about 5 minutes. And then we'll move on to the sewing machine.